Thank you. Ooh, that did it. Boy, it's not in the script, but I feel like saying, hello, Northampton. It's like everybody's here. Welcome to the 2020 inauguration of our city officials. I'm Gail Perlman. I'll be your guide this evening to invest our newly elected neighbors with the power we've given them through our exercise of the right to vote, something we cherish, knowing there are many in the world who do not share it. We thank all of you this evening for coming out to experience this event with our newly elected officials. And I want to begin by recognizing some folks who've been elected from previous times and have come to be with us this evening, previous and present times, I must say. First of all, our mayor, David Narkowitz. Where is David? There he is, over there. Our state representative, Lindsay Sabadosa, is with us tonight. You see former Mayor Higgins in the audience. And here are just a few thank yous before we begin. First, I want to thank 33 Holly Street, the Northampton Community Arts Trust, for hosting this event tonight. It's really wonderful to be in their beautiful new space. Northampton Open Media for filming the event. And a heartfelt thanks to all of our fellow Northamptonites who have served as elected officials, past and present. We, residents of the city, look in at your work, and we can't begin to understand how hard it is, but we acknowledge that you're brave to do it, and we're very, very grateful for your service. Now, this event annually begins with a Pledge of Allegiance to our flag, which is the traditional opening. And the tradition has now been really cemented in place because Steve Connor's been leading us in the pledge for, how many years is it now, Steve? This is number 3? This is number 3, all right. Steve Connor is a Northampton native, a veteran who served with the Navy in the 1970s. He's been a local veteran service officer here since 2004 and now serves as the director of Central Hampshire Veterans Services. He's past president of the Mass Veteran Service Officers Association, and he's an advisor to massvetadvisor.org, which is an online resource for the nearly 500,000 Massachusetts veterans. Steve is also a member of Governor Charlie Baker's steering committee to develop and implement a plan to end and prevent homelessness among Massachusetts veterans. So would you all rise if you're able to do that, and Steve will lead us in the pledge.
Thank you very much for the kind words. I will point out that the oath that is going to be presented today is very similar to the one that everyone who joins the military today takes, and that's an oath to the Constitution, not an oath to any office or officer, but to the Constitution. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing. Thank you.
You may be seated. Now I want to introduce the Reverend Dr. Andrea Avazian, who will provide an invocation. If we all didn't know her so well, I'd stick with her august titles in introducing her, but there must be only a very small percentage of people in Northampton who don't know her. So with her permission, she'll be Andrea for the rest of my introduction. Andrea currently holds multiple titles of distinction. She's the founder and director of the Sojourner Truth School, a brilliantly conceived training ground for advancing the skills of social activist leaders in the Valley. She's also the associate pastor of the Alden Baptist Church in Springfield and former senior pastor of the Haydenville Congregational Church. If we go back far enough, she was a nurse and mountain climber. And she has recently joined the vast cadre of people learning to be the best mothers-in-law in the world. And at least as of last week's Gazette, she's a poet. You'll find Andrea anywhere where social justice is being pursued. Her voice raised, her vision clear, her courage unremitting. Reverend Avazian.
Thank you, Gail. I didn't imagine that introduction. For 1 minute, did I not imagine that introduction? Greetings, friends. The Northampton City Charter states that all of you, our esteemed elected officials, shall on the first Monday in January meet and take an oath or affirmation to the faithful discharge of the duties of your office. Rabbi Justin David and I are here to reinforce that faithful part. I have been asked to offer an invocation. An invocation calls forth or invokes the Spirit, however you conceive of her. So let us gather ourselves together in a spirit of reverence. O Holy One, known to us by so many different names, and revealed to us in so many different ways, we know you are present on this day, in this place, showering your blessings on these fine public servants who are committed to doing good work in this, our beloved community. We believe you filled this place with your grace before we arrived, and you are surrounding these dedicated leaders with your wisdom. We ask that you guide our elected officials in the deliberations that lie ahead so that they are infused with a strong sense of integrity. We ask that you strengthen them so that they feel compelled to do what is right, not necessarily what is popular. We ask that you comfort them when the work is stressful and the hours are long. May you lead them to rest beside still waters. We also ask that you lovingly prod and nudge them when they fail to hear the cries of the poor, disturb their conscience when they please the powerful and silence those on the margins of power, and prick their hearts when they do what is easy rather than what is brave. This community is counting on these individuals called to service to lead with open minds. May they excel at the fine art of collaboration, and may they experience delight in laboring together as an effective, productive, and harmonious team. We are all in such need of models of harmonious leadership. May these elected officials always remember that they are valued, admired, and supported. And may our gratitude for their work on our behalf be wind in their sails when the seas are turbulent and the far shore is not yet in view. O Holy One, source of vision and strength, fill these good women and men with the sure knowledge that their leadership will nurture, guide, and protect a remarkable community in a lush river valley on this good green earth. Shepherd our leaders through the important work that lies ahead as they shepherd us through the changes and challenges we will face together in the coming years. Amen.
Thank you. Now, what happens next is that I'm going to swear in the city clerk, who, after she becomes official, will swear in everybody else. It is my great honor to introduce our city clerk, Pamela Powers, who has been reelected to her post. Pam is a human energy of productive activity, full of ideas and full of the energy to carry them out. Before her first election, she served as the administrative assistant to the city council, where she performed as a model of efficiency and order. And how easy do we suppose that was to carry off? And she now expends the same kind of energy that she did then in the city in her new position as our elected city clerk. Now, I've actually met Pam's efficiency in my own recent life. A few days ago, I was in touch with her to think through this program. She, who is by now a veteran of this event, flooded me with all the information I needed, sent copies, explained decisions, and suggested that I look at the previous inaugurations on YouTube, which had been filmed by Northampton Open Media. Just Google it, she said. I do that for everything, even how to change the washers in my faucet. So let's just be in a little awe of that. When the city's work is done, which I know can take place sometimes in the very wee hours, our city clerk, this woman of multiple talents, relaxes at home fixing the plumbing. Our city clerk, Pamela Powers. Please repeat after me. Oh, can you all hear me? Please repeat after me, inserting your own name. I, Pamela L. Powers.
I, Pamela L. Powers,
Do solemnly swear and affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all the duties incumbent on me
all the duties incumbent on me
as the city clerk of Northampton,
as the city clerk of Northampton,
according to the best of my abilities and understanding,
according to the best of my abilities and understanding,
agreeably to the rules and regulations
agreeably to the rules and regulations
of the constitutions and laws of this Commonwealth,
of the Constitution and laws of this Commonwealth,
the Charter,
the Charter,
ordinances, and rules of the city of Northampton,
ordinances, and the rules of the city of Northampton,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
so help me God.
so help me God. So now I have prepared statements for each one of you elected officials. No, I'm kidding. Okay. It's my honor to now swear in all of the newly elected officials as of November 5th, 2019. And we're going to start with the city councilors. I'm going to ask that the city councilors, the at-large and the ward city councilors, please stand. The city councilors as elected at large: William H. Dwight, Gina Louise Shera, also at large. Ward 1, Michael J. Quinlan Jr. Ward 2, Karen Foster. Ward 3, James B. Nash. Ward 4, John T. Thorpe. Ward 5, Alexander E. Jarrett. Ward 6, Marianne L. Labarge, and Ward 7, Rachel A. Maori. I'm going to ask that you raise your right hand and repeat after me. I'm going to let you know when to insert your name, if you would insert your name, and we'll do the oath together. Next, I'm going to ask the members of the school committee to please rise. Your newly elected school committee members are at-large Ronnie Gold, at-large Susan E. Voss, Ward 1 Rebecca Busansky, Ward 2 Laura A. Fallon, Ward 3 Emily Seraphy Cox, Ward 4 Sean Condon, Ward 5 Dina Levy, Ward 6 Lonnie Kaufman, and Ward 7 Kaya E. Goldman. I'm going to ask that you all raise your right hand, repeat after me, and insert your name when I say so, okay? I, please insert your name. Solemnly swear and affirm. To faithfully and impartially. Discharge and perform. The duties of a school committee member. The office to which I have been elected. In accordance with. The Constitution of this Commonwealth. The Charter. Ordinances. And the rules of the City of Northampton. To the best of my knowledge and ability. So help me God. Next, we're going to do the superintendents of Smith Agricultural School. I'm going to ask that you please rise. These are not newly elected. The trustees of Smith Agricultural School are Michael T. Kaling, John E. Cotton, and Thomas M. Fitzgerald. I'm going to ask that you raise your right hand, repeat after me, and insert your name when I ask you to. I, please insert your name. Solemnly swear and affirm. To faithfully and impartially. Discharge and perform. The duties as a superintendent. Of Smith's Agricultural School. The office to which I have been elected. In accordance with. The Constitution of this Commonwealth. The Charter. Ordinances and rules of the City of Northampton. To the best of my knowledge and ability. So help me God. Congratulations. Next, we're going to do the trustees under the will of Charles E. Forbes. Our newly elected officials, Emily C. Baker, Joseph A. Turok, and Kathleen White. I'm going to ask that you raise your right hand and repeat after me. And when I ask you, please insert your name. I, please insert your name. Solemnly swear and affirm. To faithfully and impartially. Discharge and perform the duties. Of a trustee of Forbes Library. The office to which I have been elected. In accordance with. So Community Preservation Committee members? Kay Christopher Hellman and Dan Krasner, congratulations on your recent election win. And I'm going to swear you in. I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand, repeat after me, and insert your name when I ask you to. I, please insert your name. Solemnly swear and affirm. To faithfully and impartially. Discharge and perform the duties. As a member of the Community Preservation Committee. The office to which I have been elected. In accordance with. The Constitution of this Commonwealth. The Charter. Ordinances. And the rules of the City of Northampton. To the best of my knowledge and ability. Congratulations.
Well, congratulations to everyone who is now duly inaugurated. I just want to offer a few words to all of you in the city as we embark on this moment when civic obligation changes hands. I look at us here in this room, and what stands out for me is a stunning mix of the generations of Northampton. We all have names now, you know. There's the greatest generation, the silent generation, the boomers, okay? And then, of course, Gen X, Gen Y, the millennials, and Gen Z. What they're going to do after Z, I have no idea. Now, I don't know if anybody's here from the greatest generation. Is anybody? But I think all the rest of the generations are represented in this room tonight. And most of them are already represented in city government, about to be able to work together for everybody in Northampton. What a great opportunity to learn how to govern for all of us. Now, nobody knows quite how to count the years that make a generation. There's disagreement about that. And nobody knows exactly what a generation is. There's disagreement about that too. I did my research. There are theories, though. One is called the pulse rate hypothesis, which feels entirely too ominous to me, and I'm dropping that one. The other theory is called the imprint hypothesis that sounds a little more optimistic, so I'm sticking with that one. It holds that young people perceive the world differently from their elders because of their lived experience of events. That is, a generation shares a unique social and biographical experience in a historical moment. That includes the big events like war and social upheaval, but it also includes the culture that develops around that interval. The songs, the clothes, the slang, the fads, the new technology, those elements that draw us together with our generational cohort. Now, that seems to me to be at once pretty true and also pretty simplistic, because neither age alone nor even our daily experience in our generation dictates a shared daily experience in the world. A designation of generation is probably not nearly as powerful to describe experiential differences among us as, say, class or race or education or gender or geography. But there is something to the concept of generation. Anybody who's raised a teenager knows that. Any teenager who's raised a parent knows that. And here's something special about generations. If people are lucky, they get to live long enough to experience not only their own generation, but to see it in action with other generations from before them and the ones that follow them. And the city government that we swear in today flashes for me a striking picture of that opportunity for interaction. Composed of multiple generations, you now have a chance to teach us how to do it. how the generations can learn one from another, the older ones and the younger ones, how to capitalize on the lived experience of each generation. One of your great challenges will be to learn how to learn from each other's lived experiences, not to dismiss anyone's life experience because it's too out of date or because it's not yet experienced enough. Because those experiences from the generations in both directions will inform the way you write new laws, will inform the way you debate with each other, will inform the way you educate us, your constituents, about your work, will inform the way you vote on issues that will affect and change our city. It's my own belief that your work will be more productive if you come to understand the varied experience of each other, to surface and explore those varied experiences, challenge them, and respect them as you apply the experiences together to the today and the tomorrow that you're going to be shaping. I hope that you'll learn to make that cross-generational exploration a hallmark of your work together, that you will ask each other questions and tell each other stories about your generational experiences, that you'll listen to each other patiently and with open hearts, and that you will come to know that serious ideas and deep wisdom will come from each of your generations, each of your lived experiences, each of your individual efforts to make sense of the historical moment in which your views were formed. And while you're practicing the art of governing this way, and checking in, by the way, on the generational ideas of Northampton's residents as well, we'll be listening as you go, trying to learn from you, chiming in ourselves from time to time, and holding on to our hope that you will reflect, refine, and respect multiple perspectives and become a model for us of just how to do that. Much luck to all of you in your endeavors. And now I want to introduce to you Rabbi Justin David, who will deliver the benediction. This man, too, is becoming a veteran of Northampton inaugurations. I did go watch those videos. Rabbi David has been the spiritual leader of Congregation B'nai Israel in Northampton for 10 years? 18. I was going to say, I read 10 years somewhere, and I'm like, no, he's been here way longer than that. He was blonde when we first met him. In that time, he has become a force for social justice here and around the world. In fact, our own Mayor Narkowitz nominated him to receive a Human Rights Hero Award, which he received last year from a national rabbinical group called Truah. Like Andrea, he's been feted and arrested. I wonder if Northampton has the highest percentage of arrested clergy. Just pondering. In any event, Justin, if I may call him that, is here to offer our final thoughts for the evening, and the benediction will signal the end of tonight's proceedings. Again, thank you all for being here. Rabbi David.
For the record, I've been here, this is my 18th year, so that's very much in keeping with Gail's eloquent discourse on generations. And I'll just say, both my sons are home from college, and I haven't been okay boomered in a few weeks, so it's been good. There was a sense among my ancestors who lived 2,000 years ago that the day of Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, the holiest day in the Jewish calendar, was a day in which the entire world hung in the balance. And so after the central rituals were performed in the temple, there was a prayer by the high priest that seemed to calm everyone's nerves and to reassure everyone that they would make it through and thrive in another year. I bring this up because speaking to people and keeping an ear to the ground and listening to the public discourse, it's pretty clear to me that so many of us feel at this time, for all kinds of reasons, that there's so much that hangs in the balance. And so with great gratitude for all of you who've given of your time and your energy and are about to do this and to commit this great act of service. I'm enormously honored to be here. And for all of you who are dear friends and family of everyone sitting on this side of the room, you too are making a great sacrifice and a great contribution to our community. And as much as we all feel that there's so much hanging in the balance right now, I'll just share that my experience of Northampton is one of a collective humanity and human connection and optimism. But nevertheless, we need from time to time words that remind us of our deepest values and our mission. And so I share with you this short prayer that's a mirror of the prayer of the high priest on Yom Kippur, that's from this prayer book that was actually edited by a Northampton resident, Rabbi Ed Feld, and is used by hundreds of thousands of people around the world every high holidays. And so here are the words. As the spirit of the universe is gracious and compassionate, so you should be gracious and compassionate. Help the needy, visit the sick, comfort the mourners, attend to the dead. Share your bread with the hungry. Take the homeless into your home. Clothe the naked when you see them, and do not turn away people in need. Help those who have no help. Be eyes to those who can't see, feet to those who can't move. What is hateful to you, do not do to your fellow human beings, but love your neighbor as yourself. Love peace and pursue peace. Love your fellow creatures and draw them to the heart of wisdom. Then shall your light break forth as dawn, and your healing spread quickly. May the Spirit of the universe grant us the wisdom of the heart, and may there be peace among us, and may we say, Amen. Thank you, congratulations, and good luck.